I escaped my marriage, I didn't take clothes, money, or even my phone. I ran with only one thing, fear, and I ran straight into the arms of the last person I ever expected to save me. I still remember the sound.
Look at me when I am talking to you. This behavior must
Not the
stop
shouting.
immediately.
Not the insults.
Do you understand me?
Not even the slap. The sound of the door closing behind me. It was loud. Final. Heavy. Like my old life shutting itself forever. I was barefoot. The ground was cold. My heart was beating so hard I thought it would burst out of my chest. I didn't know where I was going. I only knew one thing: if I stayed, I would not survive another night. People always ask, why didn't you leave earlier? They don't understand that leaving an abusive marriage doesn't begin with walking out. It begins with unlearning fear. And fear had trained me well. When I met Daniel, he was everything my family prayed for. Polite. Soft-spoken. Church-going. Educated. The kind of man elders used as an example. The kind of man neighbors trusted with their daughters. He spoke gently. He smiled often. He listened. When he proposed, my mother cried tears of joy. My father shook his hand proudly. My friends said, "You are so lucky." I believed them. Daniel didn't rush me. He didn't shout. He didn't control me, not then. He held doors open. He called me my queen. He said he admired my strength. What I didn't know was that some people admire your strength only because they plan to break it. White decorations. Loud music. Smiling faces. Cameras everywhere. Daniel held my hand tightly that day. Too tightly. I laughed it off. "That's how you know he loves you," someone whispered. I smiled. His family welcomed me warmly. His mother hugged me and said, "You are our daughter now." His older sister, Rose, looked into my eyes and said, "If you ever need anything, come to me." I didn't know how important those words would become. The first time Daniel raised his voice at me, we had been married for 3 months. It was over food. "This soup is too salty," he said, pushing the bowl away. "I'm sorry, I'll fix it," I replied quickly. He stared at me. "Don't answer back." That was new. I laughed awkwardly. "I wasn't. Did I say you should talk?" The room went silent. I felt something shift inside me, like a warning bell ringing softly. But I ignored it. I told myself he was stressed. Work pressure. Marriage adjustment. That night, he apologized. "I'm sorry if I sounded harsh," he said, holding me. "I just want respect." I nodded. That word, respect, became his favorite weapon. How control creeps in. Control doesn't arrive loudly. It tiptoes. "Why do you wear that outside? Why do you need to go out so often? Your friends don't like me. Your family talks too much." Little by little, my world became smaller. I stopped wearing bright clothes because he said they attracted attention. I stopped laughing loudly because he said it was embarrassing. I stopped visiting friends because he said married women stayed home. When I called my mother too often, he would sigh loudly and say, "Are you married to me or to your family?" So I reduced the calls. Then I stopped. The first time he touched me in anger. The first time he pushed me, it wasn't hard. We were arguing about money. I asked where part of my salary had gone. He stepped closer. Too close. "You don't question me," he said. Then he pushed me. I stumbled back and hit the table. We both froze. I stared at him, shocked. He stared at his own hands. "I didn't mean to," he whispered. He cried. He held me. He begged. "I will never do it again. I swear." I believed him. Because love makes excuses for pain. After that, apologies became routine. Push. Apology. Tears. Gift. Promises. Then again. The abuse never left marks at first. He was careful. He was smart. But fear left deeper wounds. Learned how to read his footsteps. How to measure his mood by the way he closed the door. How to stay silent even when my heart was screaming. At family gatherings, he became the perfect husband again. He joked. He smiled. He held my waist. People admired us. "You are so quiet now," someone once said. "Marriage has matured you." I smiled. The loneliest place in the world is not being alone. It is being married and unheard. At night, I would lie awake beside him, staring at the ceiling, wondering how I disappeared so completely. Sometimes I would cry silently, covering my mouth with the pillow so he wouldn't hear. I prayed. I begged God to change him. I begged God to give me strength. I begged God to make it stop. What I didn't know was that God had already prepared my rescue through the person I least expected. Rose was Daniel's older sister. Strong. Calm. Observant. She was not loud, but when she spoke, people listened. She noticed things. The way I flinched when Daniel raised his voice. The way I always wore long sleeves. The way I stopped laughing. One afternoon, during a family visit, she pulled me aside. "My daughter," she said gently, "are you happy?" I smiled automatically. "Yes, Auntie." She didn't smile back. She studied my face for a long moment, then said quietly, "If you ever need me, my door is open. Day or night." Something in her voice made my throat tighten. The night everything broke. The night that changed everything started quietly. Daniel came home late. His eyes were red. He smelled of alcohol. "Why didn't you warm the food?" he asked. "I didn't know what time you'd come," I replied softly. That was the wrong answer. His anger exploded. Words flew. Insults rained down. He accused me of disrespect, of being useless, of ruining his life. I stayed silent. That made it worse. He grabbed my arm. This time, it hurt. Something inside me snapped. I pulled away. "Please," I whispered. "Stop." He raised his hand. And for the first time, I realized something clearly: this man could kill me one day. Fear turned into instinct. When he turned away to grab something, I ran. No shoes. No phone. No bag. I ran out into the night. Running toward hope. I didn't know where I was going. My legs burned. My chest ached. Tears blurred my vision. One name echoed in my mind. Rose. I ran until my body felt like it would collapse. When I reached her house, I knocked weakly, then sank to the ground. The door opened. Rose gasped. She pulled me inside, locked the door, wrapped me in her arms, and said the words that saved my life. "You are safe now." And for the first time in years, I believed it. I didn't sleep that night. Even though Rose's house was quiet. Even though the bed was soft. Even though the door was locked. My body was safe, but my mind was still trapped in that house. Every small sound made me jump. A car passing. A door creaking. The ticking of the clock. I kept expecting Daniel to burst in, shouting my name, dragging me back by my hair. Rose sat beside me until morning. She didn't ask questions. She didn't pressure me. She just stayed. Sometimes she held my hand. Sometimes she wiped my tears. Sometimes she whispered, "You're safe. He can't touch you here." But safety felt strange. Like clothes that didn't fit anymore. When morning came, sunlight crept into the room like it was afraid to disturb me. I looked at my reflection in the mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back. My eyes were swollen. My lips trembled. There were faint finger marks on my arm, not dark enough to shock anyone, but clear enough to tell a story. Rose saw them. She closed her eyes slowly. "How long?" she asked. That was all. No shouting. No disbelief. Just pain. I tried to speak, but my voice broke. The words came out messy, tangled with sobs. "How long has he been hurting you?" I shook my head. "I don't even know when it started anymore." She nodded slowly, like someone hearing confirmation of a fear they had carried for too long. "You are not the first woman," she said quietly. That sentence landed like thunder. "What do you mean?" I whispered. Rose stood up and walked to the window. Her back was to me when she spoke again. "Daniel has always had anger," she said. "We saw it when he was younger. He learned how to hide it. How to look good in public." My heart pounded. Why didn't anyone stop him? I asked, my voice shaking. She turned to face me, because people protect sons better than they protect women. Rose reached for her phone. "I'm calling your mother," she said. Fear shot through me. "No, please," I begged. "She will be disappointed. She will ask why I stayed." Rose knelt in front of me and held my face. "Listen to me," she said firmly. "Shame is not yours. Silence is what keeps abuse alive." I cried harder. When my mother answered the phone, Rose spoke calmly. "Mama, your daughter is with me. She is alive. But she is not okay." There was a pause. Then I heard my mother's voice break. "What happened?" Rose looked at me. I nodded weakly. "She has been abused," Rose said. "By her husband." The silence on the other end was loud. Then my mother cried. Not softly. Not politely. She wailed. By evening, the house was full. My parents came. Rose's husband was there. A few trusted family elders were called. Daniel did not know where I was. Not yet. I sat on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, while adults whispered around me like my pain was something fragile that could shatter if spoken too loudly. Then Rose stood up. "We will not whisper," she said. "We will speak." Everyone went quiet. "She did not fall," Rose continued. "She was not clumsy. She was not disrespectful. She was abused." My father covered his face with his hands. My mother reached for me and pulled me into her chest, rocking me like I was a child again. "I'm sorry," she cried. "I should have noticed." I shook my head. "He made sure you wouldn't. Daniel comes looking." That night, Daniel called. Once. Twice. 10 times. I didn't answer. Then Rose's phone rang. She put it on speaker. "Where is my wife?" Daniel demanded. Rose's voice was calm, but sharp. "She is where you can't hurt her." "You have no right to interfere in my marriage," he snapped. "I have every right," Rose replied, "when my brother becomes a danger." Daniel laughed bitterly. "She's lying. She's dramatic." Rose didn't raise her voice. "Come here," she said. "And say that in front of everyone." There was a pause. Then the line went dead. Fear returned. I knew that silence. The man without a mask. Daniel arrived an hour later. He didn't knock. He banged on the door. "Open this door," he shouted. My heart raced. My hands shook. Rose stood in front of me like a shield. When the door opened, Daniel walked in confidently until he saw the room full of people. His face changed. "What is this?" he asked, forcing a smile. "Why are you embarrassing us like this?" Rose pointed at me. Tell them what you do when nobody is watching. Daniel scoffed. She's emotional. You know women. That's when Rose did something unexpected. She pulled out her phone. Photos. Voice recordings. Messages. Evidence I didn't even know she had been quietly collecting over the years, not just from me, but from patterns she had noticed, words he had said, moments she had saved. Daniel's face drained of color. You went through my phone, he shouted. No, Rose said calmly. You underestimated me. The room was silent. Daniel looked at me then, really looked. For the first time, there was no control in his eyes. Only fear. You hit her, Rose said. Daniel opened his mouth. No words came out. You broke her, Rose continued. And you will not touch her again. My father stood up. If you come near my daughter, he said, his voice shaking with rage, you will answer to me. Daniel laughed weakly. You're choosing her over your own blood. Rose stepped closer to him. I am choosing what is right. That was the moment his power died. Daniel left that night. He did not apologize. He did not beg. He did not look back. I collapsed into tears, not because he left, but because I survived. Rose held me and whispered, this is not the end. This is the beginning. But she was wrong about one thing. The hardest part was still coming. Because surviving abuse is one battle. Healing is another.